waxtaan bi nag danañ ko def ci anglais ak ci wolof pour ñu laal yëpp tamit parce que li ñu waxtaanee defa ci waaw ko si mandinkaas bi local laa bëgg waaye xam nga du gaa ñu ne du local suñu national language ñu waruñoo wax ay suñu wolof pol mandink ay local loolu Sidia nangu loolu de mu ne affaire du local honorable alright so national languages yi danañ ci ñëw laal ci of course ak mandinka ñu gën a elaborate lan moo tax ñu ñëw fii tey ci suba si comme ni ñu leen ko waxee woon sànq ci ndorte bi waxtaan bi dañu ko samp ci lan lañ war a def wala lan moo war a doon pexe yi pour naka la ñoo doolelee compagnie yu nekk ci réew mi bari nañ bari wuñ ndañu mag la wala ñu ndaw waaye ñu ngi ci réew mi ñu ngi def dara pour nguur dooleel leen dafay doon lu am solo li nag gannaaw bi nga xamante ne président Barrow génn na ci fan yu yàggul dem wari compagnie yu bari ak institutions yu nekk ci Greater Banjul area ak West Coast pour mu seet nemmeeku leen xam ci la lañ nekk gis nga bokk na ci Bell Bottling Company demoon na tamit ci yeneen ci ay poultry farms and other companies waxtaan léegi am nañ fi président bi and moom la ñu waxtaanal li nga xamante ne moom mooy seen yëg-yëg ak gis-gis ci ñëwi président bi ak lan lañ ci war a mun a xaar ci taxawaay nguur so we start the discussion, of course, like I said, in English, and then we'll transit into to the national languages as well. Mr. President, once again, thank you for coming, and we will start the discussion briefly. Tell us about the Association of Gambian Manufacturers before we get into the main discussion of President's visit and the need probably to support the manufacturers. Tell us a bit about the association. When was it formed? And why, in fact, the formation of such an association?
Okay, thank you very much once again, for inviting us.
Yeah.
And in your recent story as well, we send our condolences, to the Iranian people for the great loss that they have, and also condolences to His Excellency the President Adama Barrow, because as you rightly said, recently we hosted, the OIC, and now Gambia is heading, this OIC.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's also our funeral.
Yeah,
so we really send our sincere condolences, to our sister country, the Iranian Muslim Ummah. Coming back to the question of the Association of the Gambian Manufacturers, it's been created in the 1980s by two prominent Gambians that are really involved, in manufacture. That is Sankun Silla, Alaji Sankun Silla, and Muktara Trading. So from that inception, the association gathered, main companies that are doing manufacturing in the country. So from there, other companies, started to build up, like Banjun breweries, and some steel factories and so on, so factories, plastic factories, and more now, into bottling and so many other companies that came on board. So the association is created, solely to advocate, and bring together, these industries together. So now, the association is building up, it's getting momentum, like Barrow rightly said. It's a very serious one. Recently, we have been supported by UNDP to get our 5-year strategic plan.
Fantastic.
And then now we have also developed, a roadmap where we want to see the manufacturing to be in the 50 years or 100 years, time. We have also just recently, through the help of the European Union, to organize our first AGM, since 20 years now. And that's why I was elected as the new president of the association, with new executive members, 9 executive members, in also they are all entrepreneurs, like Bell Botters, which and also a mix, executive this time, whereby there is no segregation of who is a Gambian, who is a foreigner, so we are all mixed, inside the association. So this has bring us, new ideas, new energy to the association, and also also, my only regret, is, there is no female presentation there, but
gender
that,
bias.
yes, but that is also going to be corrected very soonly, because, in the executive, we decide also to have, our CEOs and directors, to run the affairs of the association. So probably we might have a CEO, a female, in the association. So basically, that is the composition of the association. Then what we have also done, is to create, renew our constitution. So now we have a brand new constitution that's run the association. We also have our new bylaws. So also, a governing structures whereby, we have our anti-corruption laws, the administration, the finance, and so on. So, like Boris said, is a very serious and organized and well-structured organization.
All right, fantastic. It appears it has been a long, formed association and all that. Now you are coming in as a new president. Because I want us to fast track somehow discuss because of time. Coming as a new president at this moment, where many may think the economic challenges are prevailing all over, what is your main priorities at this moment as a newly coming in president for the association and probably your immediate targets? Okay,
the first target was to really mobilize wherever from Carton to Koina, wherever there is a manufacturer's activity going on in the country, we gather all these members, in one data. That was the first target, and to create, a communication group to make sure that, they are well aware about, the association, and also to pay their membership fee and to subscribe to the association. So that's the first target, and that is going very well. Now we have 100 plus of manufacturers, and they are all paying actively. We have also three different categories of sole traders, companies, and partnership. These are the three different categories. Then that was the first target. The second target is to identify what are the issues that are really hindering our association or our members. So for example, in taxation, energy, and also employment. So these are the three issues that we are trying to address right away and identify. All right,
we will get into the challenges later on probably, but let us now discuss or touch on the president's recent visit to different farms within the Greater Banjul area, of course in the West Coast region as well. As the president, when you saw that, what was your reactions or what is your impression on the president's visit recently?
Well, prior to the visit, there was a lot of engagement. We have our line ministry, for example, is the Ministry of Trade and Industry. So there was a great engagement since the inception of the new government. So, and with that line, we believe that it's a serious challenge that we need to address, and we are really engaging with them. Then when we just realized that the president now is coming to visit us, we believe that our work has been rewarded somehow, because now the executive is going around to look in first hand what is really happening. So that will now give us a little bit of motivation to know that well, the executive is now going directly with the players to listen firsthand what is really happening in our industry. So we were excited, we were very delighted, and we also participated there. We had a formal invitation to participate on the trip. So we discovered that the interaction was really fruitful. President was there, and it was not something secret, was there with his media teams and also his advisors and the ministers, So we believe that, this can, come up, as a new page, and also a commitment, to our industry. Knowing that, this is what, the president has pledged, at the beginning, to saying that, he wants to create 150,000 jobs, especially the youth. So the only industry that can do that is the industry, because it's engine of growth, is the #1 employers. It can also stabilize inflation. We all know that, how, prices are hiking. So by made in the Gambia, we can be able to, control, this inflation by, promoting made in the Gambia.
All right, fantastic. I know I'll get back to you in a moment, but let me just bring on Mr. Dabo in here. I know he's, of course, fully in the bell collars here, but he will speak not only on their behalf and other companies as well, generally speaking, because we want to look at the general point of view. You just listened to our president. I don't know whether you are executive member or not, but I know you are part of the association. Tell us, as someone who has been like I said, especially in the beverages industry for a long while, how important is it that you coming together to form an association, of course, having him as a president, with newly renewed commitment and initiatives for the members and, of course, for the association. And most importantly, the president recently going down to visiting the farms. How important is this to companies like yourself?
Thank you very much, Amadou. As he rightly said, the Association of Gambian manufacturers started way back in the 80s. Then the Banjul breweries and others were a part of it. And it came up to a point, it became inactive. But with commitment, they rallied behind each other, encouraged one another, and then came back in full force, and then put a lot of energy, because as manufacturers, it's important that they operate on one platform where they share ideas and see how their roles can be recognized by the state. Because as he said, the manufacturing industry today is the engine of growth, is the engine of economic activities, and also for employment. So if they are all seeing face to face on daily basis and agreeing on points, certainly there will be development in the Gambia. So coming together as one would also solidify their efforts in trying to make made in the Gambia available to the Gambian people. Because today, if you see our country is been polluted with a lot of products coming from outside, in which we are not producing. So their stand is to see that manufacturers work very hard, have the commitment to produce quality and standard products and provide to the Gambian people. So yes, it's a combination of both national and foreign. And these are people who have been in this country for quite a long time. They have the interests of the nation at heart, and all their finance or whatever they have, they're injecting in the sector to see that there's real growth and there's real employment. So it is a very viable organization, and we must give kudos to Mr. Sao for accepting being the president, and he's leading with example, because he's really committed to the task, to see that the manufacturing industry is very vibrant and is able to deliver to the Gambian people. I think all what is needed, as he said, is also the government to understand them, work with them, and give them support. So in that way, all the manufacturing companies in the Gambia will live up to their expectation and provide what the Gambian people need. So we must all embrace them and also support Made in the Gambia.
All right, fantastic. You just touch on the issue of having most of these products that are consumed in this country coming from outside. It's an issue that I want to talk about with the president. But before then, your reaction on the president's visit, you reacted when he came to your company or institution. I still want to know what do you think this may mean to you as members, as an association. Now he's coming to see what you do, what's its importance, and probably expectation after he comes or after his visits. Do you think anything would change in terms of support or whatever that you might expect in terms of more cordial relationship between the association and the government, as the president have just highlighted?
Yeah, thank you, Amadou. As the saying goes, seeing is believing.
Certainly.
Now, as the head of state, most of the time you are cornered at your office or within the confines of the administrative structure, that is the State House, and all what you relied on is the information coming from outside. And those information are most of them tangible or not tangible. So at times what he did was excellent, because it's good that you move away from your decks to see what is actually happening, whether the reports that are reaching you are accurate or not accurate. So I think he's motivated by the fact that this company started building since 2021. And the vision is to provide quality and affordable beverage to the Gambian people. And then seeing that they have made a rollout, the first phase with the CSD products in the market and people talking about them. And also the minister had made a first visit there to see the readiness of the company. So I'm quite sure he got the information that the company is almost set, because first phase of their development or evolution has passed the test, because people have accepted the products and is rolling well in the market. So for him, before anybody could tell him anything about that company, is for him to go and see for himself what is on the ground, who are the key players, and what are being produced. And thank God, he was really satisfied, because looking at the massive structure of what has been in place, he knew that honestly the investors have done their part. They have invested heavily to have that complex, you know, with all those machineries, as I said to you earlier, and the product lineup he saw by himself and his delegate. I think that really, really encouraged him. So sitting at the State House, he would not have known much about that, but seeing it and going out and seeing it by himself, you know, obviously that will in fact motivate him more, and then it will make it easier for him to accept the Manufacturer Association when they meet him to discuss about the way forward. So he's actually encouraged, and he told us that his government will do all its best to support and protect us, and not only Bell Bottling Company, but also all other manufacturing companies that are busy and then producing products that the Gambian people need. And then, as we said, and as he rightly said, inflation is something that is really affecting us. And then encouraging manufacturers and then boosting their production capacity and giving them the support and protection will yield positive results, because most of them would start to export out. And when that happens, obviously, as he said, we could have a decline in our inflation rate.
But by and large, listening to you and the president here, you know, that you described the presidency as positive or, you know, good for the manufacturer, and of course for the association as well. But the visit may be seen as one important thing, but there could be expectations as well. You talk about protection of businesses, you know, support and the like. So what would you want to see henceforth coming from the government going to the companies or manufacturers in this country in trying to promote or propagate or support in what they do in this country to provide more of the services needed in this country? Especially, I've seen most of the products that are consumed in this country is coming from outside.
Yeah, our expectation from the side of the government is high. We have done what we are supposed to do. We thank them for giving us the environment, and we're working in tandem with them to realize all our laid down objectives. However, we have constraints, and that's where we want them to come in. So telling us we will support or protect is not enough. We would like to see action, because today the products that we are producing are quality ones, and I think each and every household in the Gambia should be happy that Bell Bottling came into existence and is now producing quality products to the Gambian people at affordable prices. Because if you see the products that we are producing compared to the products that are coming from outside, our products, despite adhering to international standard and giving quality, are still cheaper than the products that are coming from outside by 15 to 20%. You know, when you look at the price, we are much cheaper than those products. So Gambians need to understand that and then support their own companies support their own brands. The government must step in to protect the company. How do they have to do that? Because a lot of products that are coming outside, we are producing them. So, and then sometimes companies here, he knows very well, manufacturing companies to take their products outside to our neighboring countries is a hell of a problem. It's a nightmare.
Yes.
Before you can even take even 1,000 cartons from the Gambia to Senegal, it's a nightmare because of the controls. So, yes, we are governed by the World Trade Organization policies or whatever, but we also have to have our own mechanism where our companies are protected.
Whilst
so,
in the other way around,
yeah,
their coming is much easier than
exactly.
our products going
So
out.
here, not only the porousness of our borders, but it seems as at any angle of our country, the products are coming in. You see, are they properly checked, or are they going through the right procedures? For me, I said no, because most of them are not going through the right procedures. And government have to step in to help us to protect our borders and make sure those who are bringing products, if they want to compete, yes, competition is natural, you see, but they must pass through the test to make sure that all what is required of them do. Because we who are here, we are paying taxes to the government. So why should they not comply and then bringing things outside just to benefit themselves and creating no employment? You know, they're only creating business for themselves so that their business becomes so lucrative. So government definitely need to support local industries and then protect us. If they give us protection, honestly, the sky is the limit. We will provide all what is necessary. You know, because right now we are providing 7 brands, and other brands for the first time, canned drinks are coming in. So hopefully that will be our Tobaski gift to the Gambian people. Maybe immediately after Tobaski or by July, we hope if things go well, you will start receiving our canned drinks. So that should be a celebration for every Gambian. So we need to be protected. Those canned drinks will still be cheaper than the ones you are having from outside.
Fantastic. That's a great one there, Mr. Dabo. I know we will in a moment transit to the local language, or national languages, I should say. But Mr. President, Mr. Dabo was just highlighting or mentioning some of the challenges. And as a president, in most of the time you hear Gambians say, we don't produce much as a country. I think that's also a problem or a concern to many. So if you're talking about producing, do you think we have the wherewithal as a country, you know, to produce what is needed in this country? He talked about most of the products coming from outside. So how do you intend to go about this to make sure that he talked about support, he talked about protection, that what do you need that government would come to collaborate with you in that regard? So what is your take on this as a president?
Earlier on I said the first step we did, was to mobilize, as much data on what is being produced in the Gambia so that we can attract more members, in the association. So that gives us a view, and I give you a figure just a minute ago. We are now 100 plus and counting. Companies. So Gambia is producing. It's just, we have not been very visible, and Gambians need to be more patriotic. We need to love ourselves, we need to love our country, and we also need to patronize, what the Gambians are producing. Indeed. That is one. Then 2, what he said, government need to come in, step in, and said, we are going to, nationalize everything that is happening in the Gambia. In terms of, for example, when you look at the OIC, let us have, local content. 60% or 70% of what we want in this country need to be provided by the Gambian because it's available. Today, you have, bell bottling. I want to see in that OIC, 90% of the what we are drinking, should be, Gambian made. Water, etc. But I looked at, some of the events, water was coming from Morocco, for example. Then you come to construction. Construction today, if you go to gym section, 90% of products that are displayed there, they are all foreign companies. While corrugate is manufactured in the Gambia, steel is now manufactured in the Gambia. President has visited one of them. So there is all the different type of fields. If we are talking about gender, there is a lot of women today are recycling. You know, I'm making plastic, I'm making shoes, I'm making bags. They are all made in the Gambia.
But many are talking about the capacity. And also
the capacity will be there, like what you said, you know, if you are consuming. If we are consuming, you know, we will, you know, meet the local demand, and we can even export, you know, in the long run. But it has to start somewhere. Government already, you know, 90% of government projects today, they are all, you know, being consumed by, you know, foreign, you know, product. So we want to make sure that, you know, government change those policies to make sure that, you know, in the GPPA law, in the procurement law, you know, there is 60 to 70% of local content. That will increase, you know, and will show the visibility and the capacity of, you know, the companies that are producing.
But if you look at, you know, we all want Gambians to be promoted and all that. But if you look at, for example, in the infrastructural sector, we understand some Gambians are given contracts, but in most of the delays that happen in this contract are the contracts that are given to Gambians. Isn't these are those kind of things also will not deter the confidence of government towards some of these Gambian contractors and all that?
It all depends on the capacity, like you rightly said. If a company come to you to seek for a job, you must, you know, do a proper vetting, whether that company have the right reference, you know, or previous, you know, job that he have executed, you know, are done it in time or not. Whether he have the right equipment, whether he have the right trainings of his staff. So
despite being Gambian or
despite being Gambian, you know, there should be standard. And there is an institution called Standard Bureau who have that role to make sure that, you know, standards are set, you know, at the beginning. But if we now want to use, you know, because I know Pate or Pate have a brown envelope that he can give you, it will not work. So standard has to be forced there. When you go to bell bottling, for example, because we have bell bottling in front of you, and people might be thinking that I'm biased, you know, because we have so many of factories, you know, around. But let's say, take the bell bottling, for example. You go there, even the canteen they provide for the staff is standard. I went there, you know, unfortunately that day I was fasting, but I went there just after the president visit. I sat, you know, in the canteen. You can even sit, eat in the floor. The kitchen is wide open and all standard. The chef is wearing, you know, proper chef clothes. You know, the staffs are mixing, you know, with the manager and sitting and eating. You go to their toilet, the same thing. It has to be standard.
Hope that was not because the president was coming.
I don't think so.
Because in most cases, that's what they do. If the president is coming, these people want to, you know, everything perfect.
But it was
perfect,
very
nice. But when president goes, is busy. Huh?
Exactly. You are right. You are right. You know. But what I've seen there is a company that is in construction. So you can, and it's just, you know, recent. It's not something that is new. And remember, Bell Bottling or Bell Industry has replaced, you know, Banjul breweries. You know. So that is, you know, commendable, you know, as, you know, a company. And what I've seen there, they're still under construction. You know, you can see what is going on there. You know, buildings that are there, they are just brand new buildings. So they cannot just make things up, you know, because of the president is coming. And the president is not coming for a whole day to see a factory. He's just passing, maybe 10, 15 minutes, you know, he spent here, then he's trying to catch up with other factories. So what I am trying to say, you know, let's standardize, you know, things. And also, if you are ordering or consuming made in the Gambia, the product that is produced you are consuming is made here. So it's easy for you to just go straight to the factory and know whether it's not standard or is standard, or you have any complaint you can deal with. But a product that is coming from abroad, whether it's poultry, drink, or whatever, is spending months before arriving in the Gambia.
Now, what do you intend to do as an association, or maybe as a president, to change the narratives?
The narrative is to start, like the Mandinka said, first, like yes, the government has created the conducive environment for us to operate, but they have to do more. You know, Donald Trump, when he was campaigning, he said, let's make America great again. And seeing the president coming, we have the hope that the president will make the Gambia great again in terms of industry. Before, in the 60s to the 80s, you know, Gambian products were widely claimed, you know, in the sub-region. Senegalese used to come here. Sierra Leoneans used to come. Nigerians are coming here. Even UK, you know, we used to send, you know, flowers from Gambia here to UK.
But sadly enough, we have lost all that.
We have lost all that. So that lost glory can come back with a proper political will from the executive. One, to make sure that, you know, the taxation that, you know, the government is imposing, mainly on the manufacturers, is seen that, you know, is reducing.
Okay.
You know, we are right now counting 22 different type of taxes
In this country?
in this country on manufacturers alone. You know, import duties also are too high. Access to finance, you know, today you want to, any bank, you know, as a small SME, you want to grow, you want to increase, you want to create, you know, maybe more land to expand, to buy more, you know, high-tech technologies of machines. You know, they will ask you your whole life, you understand, to get that funds. So these are the issues, you know. We need to make sure that, you know, we make, you know, more incentive, you know, to the manufacturers so that we can be competitive. Two, to standardize, you know, and then three, to make sure that, you know, the energy cost, because Gambia today, in the sub-region, we are one of the highest, you know, in terms of energy rate. Last year, around, you know, October, NAWEC has increased to 36%. So that alone is a cost on top of, you know, the employment costs and the inflation that is going around the world. The fuel rise, you know, cost of, you know, even bringing your raw material, because now, you know, containers has, you know, increased, double even their prices, you know, to come. GRA, the same thing. When you want to clear, you know, there is a minimum charges that you have to do. Now, again, you know, they even trying to impose, you know, a new type of taxes called, you know, digital tax. That is already there. On top of that digital tax, you know, I would like, you know, maybe in another time, you know, to discuss about it, you know, because one, GRA is giving, you know, a digital tax, but also creating, you know, administrative charges, you know, on the side, you know, by contracting, you know, a third party to collect that tax or to administer that tax, which is, you know, for us, you know, have no sense. You understand? All right. So these are the issues that, you know, people need to really understand, government need to understand, and put rational in this.
As I'm listening to you, I feel there's a lot more that we can discuss. But I feel like, but don't you also think, in one way or the other, you might have contributed to all these challenges that you are mentioning now, for the fact that probably you have been silent for so long, not coming out publicly, not to decry, but maybe to express your concern to government that these are things that we are facing as an association or as manufacturers.
Correct.
Now today we are availing this opportunity, so I can discuss it. But I think you could have more of this. But I hope this will be a beginning of many, especially with Eyeafrica TV.
You are quite right. And sometimes when you want to blame one person, you have four fingers, you know, pointed at you. So I agree that, you know, we've been silent, but sometimes, you know, people get discouraged. And Gambia, we were at a stage whereby, you know, a lot of people get discouraged. And some companies, you know, they close down due to certain atmosphere that was going around in the country. So we were all victim of it. So, but I'm not trying to find excuses, you know, but you are totally right. And that's why Bori even, you know, mentioned it, you know, we put a lot of energy to revive, because we believe that, you know, we cannot just be inactive like this. We cannot be just like this and then leave, you know, things, you know, to one person's hand. We have to come together. And government, you know, let it be on record, you know, we are not, you know, challenging government or we are not, you know, enemy to the government. We are partners. And they are right now listening. And to be honest, you know, they have open door policy to us. So that's the direction that we are using to make sure that, you know, whatever time and inactive that, you know, we have been doing, now we can catch up with time.
All right.
And God willing, you know, we are now on the right track now.
Fantastic. And just to remind our viewers, we are hosting, of course, the president and a member, stakeholder, if you like, of the Association of Gambian Manufacturers. And we, of course, we are discussing the need to support manufacturers in this country, especially after President Barrow went out to see what they have been doing recently. So that's why we invited him here this morning, to, of course, to discuss on some of these things that they face, challenges here and there. I wish we have more time on all that. But Monyang, déglu nga gaa yi, dégg nga waxtaan bi, xam naa ne fii la ñu jaar sax gën koo dugg yaatal ci suñ local language yi. Jafe-jafe am na, waaye tamit ay jéego ñu ngi ko def. Président bi génn na dem seeti compagnie ñoom ñu ñëw toog fii ñu waxtaan ak ñoom dafay doon lu am solo, waaye ñu yaakaar tamit luy mën a ubbi bunte yu bari la, parce que ñoom bu ñu waxut kon ni ma ko waxee léegi it ne kilifa yi dañoo surtout président dafay foog ne rek lépp comme mu ngi sawaa daal.
waaw loolu kay moom dëgg bu wér la.
waaw.
lu ma laaj first of all ba président mu ngi door a def.
bu mu ñëwee ak la.
waaw dem seeti kër yi liggéey.
sa mic bi moom na nga dégguñ la ndax da nga fay.
dégg ngeen ba jërëjëf Amadou. loolu laay laajte président bi ndax. since 2017 président mu ngi door a jóg dem seeti. compagnie yi ni ñu toogee ak nu ñu nekkee.
To be honest, you know, since I've been the president, this is the first time.
When you've been president?
since March.
boobu yàggul.
waaw moo yàggul.
xaaral ma delloo ko Mr Bori because moom mastala si yooyu waaw moom mu ngi woon si fil bi mu ngi door a am since 2017 wala de président bi jóg di dem nemmeeku këri liggéeykaay yi si réew.
Well, for me, def naa but then bi ma nekk Banjul Barrow'S lu ma day gis foofu even the tourism minister then pour ñëw si factory gis ma ko so président bi mën naa xëy naa dem na but then foog naa lii mooy first time amee daal dafa visible dem round minister moom trade daf dee dem round meet manufacturers which is part of liggéeyam la later lum gata mu provide ko to cabinet so président xam naa foofu la ko dee jël but then si suma experience lu ma xam o lu ma gis since 2017 foog naa lii mooy first time ma gis président di dem round visit all the manufacturing companies especially major ones xëj na visit na some before this but the most prominent man lu ma witness mooy bii.
Interesting lu am solo la ñun dañ ko dee wax fii ci Eyeafrica ne dafa it's time pour ñu support lu ñu am doole lu ñu am but dafa ànd ak mbir moo tax ba bëgg a laaj di président oo lu mu nekk di wax fii interest yi compagnie yi mu jiitee loolu la nekk di wax but compagnie yëpp askan bi la lan moo siy njëriñi askan bi lan ngeen teg pour compagnie bu sàmmwut ak luy njëriñi askan bi yan daan moo nekk si kawam ban investigation ngeen a teg si fil bi pour xam ne compagnie bori bi o bu daabo bi mu ngay def li nga xam ne loolu askan bi bëgg mu ngay defal askan bi lu mu bëgg because nga put si wax bi yëpp interest of the company la but nit ñi nga xam ne ñoo tax ñu samp compagnie si lan moo si nekk seen interest lan nit ñooñu mën a gis si sa njiitiyaa ne taxawu nga leen ba nga xam ne liñ bëgg si compagnie mu ko am mooy quality quantity ak mu yomb leen mu jegeñ leen ku ko sàmmwante wut yan sarta ngeen def pour daan those companies yi nga xam ne taxawoon pour def lu.
Okay, I think I have the Mandinka role to play. So yes, so I'm coming jalbayo ya fo nyami ala dankil kilinto ako jannika suko na nyino balun exactly jannika wula ko na nyino balindi suko na nyino balindi follow so sarta follow wala ka make sure that mbe fengo fen dedaka adu aka soto bantala banko ase dedaja adu moli ya soto ni atari problem bi sama wol company ni isita welcome ya foko ngani program karile soto nani product karito then amari sa ajube aba address la nyame and secondly product ko fana na bedata jan ala price ka yombal ala price ka sonel so wolo mino sarta doti mu ya loko a tariata pour aka se price ni njindi mobe sa soto then sarta sabanyoni wolo mino to make sure that I see isaje akana manke because now femo be larinja mobe ka sula ite ba make sure that ite kana toku ya soto je so company ni aseta je so ndol ba make sure that na member sol ye tarigo sartol ni kanta ka wati adu femo ya lon ko be o kolya aba talala aba bondila country mol kan ndol bo jubele wo kana stari tol kan o face so wala na association ni abetala je wate ka demaro nati company ko mu ya lon ko femo mu ya lon ka be kele tol la kolya kuti den non tol sina ngo silonyol fa ngo silonyol tamandi niatar government nyanta wo silonyol tamandi la ntol ngata ni government yesi nga diam niatar in community le problem mo soto ntol sitango si niatar ndamawol ngandamawol kumandi nga foko nyinde alka mun kete amambete o alka nyimun kete ala lafa o alnyim nyin kede nyinom silot mun yalon kon sakeno pour nga continuer ka hadama dingol nafa o Gambia nafa.
Very good. The example of Tanya, ako kabinin tata jana Boria company, you meet the staff and the managers mixing. Okay, the same thing. Company do kola ko sometimes do ko kolia be ako Gambian dingol ko working. So do you think ndagal jël ngeen measure pour ñi ubbi compagnie ñu make sure ne dañuy employé Gambien si doo fi nekk rek par exemple nga jógee bitim réew ñëw nga jëli sa doom yu bëri nga ñëw employé leen 100 nga indi 75 bi employé Gambien 25%. ndax loolu yéen a ngi ko bàyyi xel ba pare itam dañ dee wax ne always donc job bi leen day jox Gambien si ndax yéen a ngi seen sa président yaa gi seen mbootaay gi dugal ngeen si compagnie yi ñu respect ak yelleef yi seen staff yi ñu leen a liggéeyloo loolu tam yéen a ngi koo sàmm si seen mbootaay gi onoot
yo sa wo kumata bake no mumbije ni company janni bina gambeja nyata mo bantala banko company nata gambeja ita gambia sonea da majube la ika gambia la lualle jube adu lualle belare ni company create la foyo loi ni respect ya jube labor law bijele anin ku kotengol bije mu yalon ko standard bijele gender equality bije and so on so foyo loi ni respect then also Gambia no fong ate fong nyanta sonnale ko medda do kol nata do kol a jube mulle ba fefolo because be kaytol le dila then now kaytol ta I make sure that ye lual mun lande ani ye sartel mun diala pour nyanta do ko kele abe sonnale na man song yala te do ko kele but bitu nanata tata to fay do ko nyinta san ibaje la sayni abe tarlo starmal o sartol le kam pour ka do ko nyike so but company te Gambia jamu ya lon ko ibina Gambia la jan ye kuke mu ya lon ka ni luamata that is killing fulan jang ntol nak association on ka jubele ko not only Gambia no they take care but ye fen do ko rangol dila mu ya lon ko se do ko keno ite baramala o ite fang mantora laje anin second fana gender equality kadu ko musonin kewo ol bese do ko kenole adum fana ite dindingol fana tala kaddu ko ke so wo be association ko be jubele ka make sure that luale mum fo Gambia masakunda lual mun tandi company nutunta Gambia jani bo lual min fana tamandi la pour ka do ko lalla nyanto fana dila
abete yara bage because papa fana ya bari ñol right now aka 90% employee and in the years coming or in coming they expect employ 300 people I wole for so sign company ni yalon ko I know employ 150 people I 100 employ just for economic and maybe that 100 what 100 people support to do you employ 100 people so wo fona ba jubele bang because ala capacity 150 nyantale employ 150 people I 100 people employ because of just economy pour get something après yalon doko kemen tan mo doko keme manke kilenti so 150 people doko waaw ba pare 150 ba pare maanaam liggéey téeméeri nit ak juróom fukk so nga yow nga ñëw jël téeméeri nit ndax loolu tam yéen a ngi ko bàyyi xel si bu ko sablan bu ko na lu doon fay 50 bale
compagnie tamit seen profit la ñooy seet
of course bo seen profit tam moo tax kii bu déggoo kii bu mu commencé wax ba léegi interest yi compagnie rek la nekk di defend
xam nga kii la moo ko indi fii mooy loolu moo ko fi indi beneen bi
non it's part of that it's part of that
I move fight to nyala
yes it's part of that
mu bije nga kuma jamal le fo jang compagnie la interest
yes
compagnie la interest wala ni compagnie mo tata fay jata kende aso otuma la se do ko keno but sante ni te nata iko mbe 300 mole employ la but imang environment mu ya lonko inyante support la because ite la ko di kersole nata pour que investment okay so but ni te nata environment man be man tarje mu ya lonko is 100% puite o 300 on de ko whatever 100 le tala so yes d'accord ko 300 wolom targeti adu we want to increase because again ñul kabiri lota ye one part the mal of their company le yele so ni ko be 300 yola woto company ñing ay mul sartol mum befo pour ka invest in la company kono coming ka can drink ka different protocol ke wol be man na folo so ite 300
no I take example bori dama jël exemple su ñoom bori xam nga commencé rek nga employ 90 people ba pare expect yeneen 300 people am nga ko ci développer dina ko def ba lu ma miin nga war a sa doole bi dafa nekk pour nga employ 150 people sa doole bi mun na ko but nga bañ ko nga employ 100 because sa bëgg nga lu 150 ba la waroon def 100 bi def ko so loolu laay ndax yéen da ngeen de bàyyi xel si loolu
jël fay tay conditional le bije mu yalon ko mun nete because ni ta ko ibe 100 km le bor la but ye 5 km bor imam ila ye mu foy moke buta yebi lan jurol le at nandi man futa o 100 meter so ko le foy tan ko ni ye 150 yo le pledge but inata 100 employee woto itawta le bang You understand? Just to maximize your profit. Or landurol le bebul. Or landurol ni walang call explain it him because same thing. One company, president I move visit, 2 of them. It be man futela 100% capacity. Same thing, cemento la problem of focus.
Yes.
Cemento la same thing. They are at 10% of their capacity. So Gambian all need to understand that yes, we can employ more than thousands of people. President will give us even a target. I want 150,000 people.
Yes.
For 5 years, to be employed.
Okay.
But capacity le follow to develop that. I do need at a bell industry right now. They are still constructing.
Of course.
There are certain plans. Machine may fix follow. So yes, we want to go there. We want to address 154 left even beyond that.
All right.
You understand? But capacity lanjuro le bigi.
Okay.
So but come here move for yes, company mu yalon ko 100% capacity ya be landi mbe wol fana monitor la ka jube aliye move for same thing al felali ya be soto bunan alma 100% because
okay, you come to my point.
Wol fana mon tol fana na to diala
ka
foko na industry made in the Gambia. People are consuming, even a protocol takane. But at the same time, the capacity improve le for sign car export. But also not car export, but the Gambian all more increase. Ufana mo masakunda la to that that employment rate is low, and the same time, the tax that they are increasing, is available. Because it's more tax later, ninso tala, ninso keke tala bale, balo fong tala. You understand?
Oh, yes.
So far, the Morocco. So that's the thing.
All right. Thank you very much. Bu leer na ma because dama bëgg am loolu. Waaw.
Also sa wax bi dama dégg di welfare def la itel.
Waaw.
Liggéey ci compagnie.
Waaw.
Façon liggéey lañ fay nekkee.
Yes.
Parce que yaa ngi employment ñoom Mr. Dab for example Bell Company they are targeting 295 loolu of course
no right now ñoom ñu ngi fa.
waaw loolu laa wax 95
waaye ñu ngi targeting moo
300 wala moo
is very good waaw
xam naa ne yan façon condition nga doon wax soo la doon wax
waaw condition mooy liggéeykat yi.
waaw liggéeykat yi
ñu leen compagnie yi mun ngaa jël liggéeykat ndax ñu ngi respect seen ak seen yelleef ñoom yan leen teg pour xam loolu.
exactement waaw loolu la léegi may demal loolu
parce que ñun dañ ko gis comme right now boo demee Jimpex beneen am na ku ma mu ne ma ne am na ku dee toggal ñoo xam ne dañ dee mun ngaa wax ne complet wa dia businessman but mun ngaa wax ne sax nuñ ko dee traité moom muy togga sax daanaka su mooyee luy des si sujar bi du laal loolu bu ko dañ ko dee traité du laal loolu and secondly donkey job bi Gambien si ñoo ko dee def ba pare ñuy jëli seen doomi réew yu bari ñëw employé leen fu gën a nooy jox fu gën a dëgër Gambien so loolu waxuma ñii sax compagnie ba nguur sax dafa war a bàyyi xel. nguur dafa war a bàyyi waaw nguur moo war a am waaw loolu nguur daf ko war a bàyyi xel. yes comme ni ma protect interest compagnie ñun ñu ngi ko bëggee. noonu la war a protect interest doomi réew mi. doomi réew mi itam loolu la. kooku tamit gis boppam foofu laa bëggoon ba léegi fu ma ko laaj mooy ne. waaw ku ne xam ne 150,000 job bu président bi bëgg office tuuti la si but yéen a ko mën a génne yéen compagnie si seen diggante ak nguur ban support la nguur di def si yéen and without rek dem seeti compagnie si rek génn foog naa ne am na support bu am parce que liggéey boobu mënu ko am si nguur si compagnie la ko mën a amee so bu la compagnie waree dimbale si promise bu nga def askan bi 150,000 job for 5 years and right now foog naa ne sax su fekkee 5,000 am na góomu ko so ban support la nguur gi war a def si yéen te def ko
lu mun a nekkal
ak lu mun a waaw because yéen compagnie si because compagnie is very important si réew bu ko amul niti réew mi du am liggéey so nguur gi ndax seen diggante yéen a nguur lu nguur war a def si yéen ndax mu ngi koo def parce que yéen xam naa li ngeen a def moom yéen a ngi koo def muy taxe bu ko sa compagnie defu doon yëg neen ko si newspaper yi bu yàgg kon mun nay wax ne li ngeen war a def li si bëri yéen a ngi koo def waa nguur lu taxawaay bu mu war a am si compagnie pour support ko ndax gis ngeen loolu commencé na wala am na wala amut
waaw Mansakunda ay sartol mulla wol bijele fondation bijele because no one tay no mote operate la so fondation bijele but coming kalafa pour ka make sure that ntolbla investment no munata pour ka company ñel create anin ka job create anin ka Mansakunda namo ñi enough namo ñi dila foye lafaro ke ka namo dol tala. That's one. Two, to make sure that institutional mu yalonko banks mu yalonko ka kododi will fanang yela interest source fanan tala. Then ni atari fanang land bige ning investor nata ya make sure that okay ni land kare in zone carry be industrial be kafula e tari woto isaje ise electricity soto ise sila kendol soto ise geol soto mu yalon ko ise operator today since in the 80s Kanifing industrial area ngole identify as the industry of the Gambia but bitiloto ni tataje ferraille la DJ fita gara sol DJ silo fomu silo te fayte tambino ni samanata itela product o niya produce pour kata is a problem pour ka raw material not is a problem dokula mu dokula te fam pour kana dokola aka dum poto la kon sometimes hours janaka futa nin dibo dunta dinko kono la o ay barama o something janaka futa so all these things man sakundani wala nyanto kela to make sure that that environment ntol say operate properly then ntol fanana sarto wolom to make sure that dokula la nyanto ngodiala man sakundala namo ngodiala in time and then product mu yalan ko ba dedala ay standard meat mu yalan ko hani dunia karo kala asitanoje Gambians are used and so on so ntol environment wolom mot
all right baraka
pour ñu raano waxtaan bi rek yàlla président bi mu naan ndox tuuti xam nga naa saraxule la so balaa ma ko wax la mu gën a xiif Mr Dabo
saraxule suma doom
ok kon jeex na yes Mr Dabo ma ñëwaat ci yow rek on a final note xam naa ne olof bi na dañ koy gaañ rek amoo benn problème pour yow tamit nga laal ci tu keroog kay ma ne mu ne déggul ba ma ne ko ne da gaañoon na ko de all right bu ñu dégloo président léegi dafa mel ni jafe-jafe si manufacture yi tamit bari na tuuti ok lan la ngeen di xaar ci nguur mun ñam mu ngi ko wax léegi président bi dem na ok dem bi baax na torop waaye waru fa em rek probably dañu war a def lu bari comme président bi no more is expected from the government ñu support company lan ngeen di xaar because wala soo doon ñëw xam naa président bi dinaa ko mu wax loolu sax ci English yan area for example if you had to ask 5 or 3 main areas yi ngeen xam ne bëgg ngeen government immediately su waroon intervene loolu la waroon a interview talking about inflation tax and whatever but lan ngeen bëgg a nguur mu taxaw immediately pour support manufacturers in this country so that ñu commencé gis the impact as soon as possible.
jërëjëf Amadou area boobu mel ni la because any manufacturing or importer jafe-jafe bi fu mu dee am mooy soo import goods yi pour ñëw si port bi ñun yaa xam naa ne suñ port bi nu mel at the moment sa bagage yu ñëw léegi bagage yi dañ cher and then soo war a jël bagage yi outside nga war a indi ko Gambia fii da nga gis ne su war a jël 2 months léegi dafa dem ba 3 months and a half or even 4 months because distance bi dafa gudda torop da nga dem ba Cape Point, South Africa, come that way, go to Europe, come down to Africa again. So each time na order, then I would expect to add another 45 days. But that's a good see fee. So you expect more, and the government make port fees yomba for manufacturers. So Bob Ame denga jisne you produce fee, then you make sure the prices are stable. Because loolu la Gambian si soxla soo war a def produce si Gambia fii lu nga war a joxe Gambian si made in the Gambia dañ ko war a afford warta mel like ñu day indi from outside so su government mun a taxaw si side boobu and then also protect us because léegi goods si dee ñëw dafa bari and ñun nen mun nañ compete because each company dafa am lu they produce understand nga because right now ñun so we're here on the side of beverage waxuma ne benn other company amut but ñun ñoo nekk as the stand out company ñu xamee daal mu ngi produce beverages xamee daal quality la standard la sell na Gambian si mun nañ ko naan at anyhow so ñun dañ war a protect because bagage yi day ñëw pour ñu am ko yomba issued outside so su ñëwee si port bi dañ ko war a make it very easy pour ñu mën a ko génne in time ñu mën a produce and then dëgg dañ war a wàññi seen import rate dafa high torop waaw and dañ war a dimbal ñun pour ñu mën a control because suñ drinks right now pour dem Sénégal is zero so but so gis every week trucks day jógee Sénégal di indi drinks fii and when ñun ñu ngi produce drinks yooyu dafa doy na waar ici because ñun luñ bëgg a mooy kii laaj na whether lu ñu def loolu la liñ bëgg a yes because ñun whatever ñu def foofu dañoo make sure ñu génnee sample bi niñ mos ko su fekkee bëgg nañ ko wala sukur bi yokkana wala des na dañoo jël feedback si nit ñi so ñun lu nit ñi bëgg a loolu lañ dee produce because dañoo make sure ne la at least a lot of people taste na product bi balaa ñu produce ko loo gis ne produce nañ ko xam na la nit ñi bëgg nañ ko ici duñ jël close suñ botti ni rek produce products yi lu neex ñun ñu def la non dañoo make sure ne asakana duñ bëgga la the people what they want that's what we give them dañoo make sure ne every product ñu produce at least pass na certain stages you know testing and so on dañoo make sure ne loolu is done not only one sector but across mag yi xale yi youth yi you make sure ne at least they start coverage like tey so on the beach soo fa demee every Sunday ñu ngi si beach bi pour joxe nii suñ sample products yi like energy drink because energy drinks yi day jógee outside and ñu ko def fii you know and it's one of the best but soo gis léegi ñu dee indi from outside ñu ngi ko jaay below suñ boss you know pour ñu mun a block suñ drink xam ne daal made in the Gambia la ici loolu government dañu war a taw si ici soo gis orange drinks yi ñu ko def fii but you have so many orange drinks coming from outside you know water produced fii but still yaa ngi am yeneen water yi day jógee from other areas duga in the country so suñ bëgg a expand ñu bëgg a produce more waaw ñu ngi laaj Gambian si pour ñu support seen on understand but government tam dañu war a as he said dañu war a taxaw dimbal companies si protect leen because suñ protect companies si suñ capacity bi dafa increase because the more offtake people ñu ngi ko consume company bi tam dafa strengthen you know efforts am put lot of energy pour mun a produce more so that mun a supply meet the demand of the Gambian people.
All right.
You see. But su loolu nekku fa dafa difficult. Waaw so ñoo mun a jàppa companies yi factories yëpp whatever they are doing ñu protect them against what is coming from outside because if I'm doing orange and I'm seeing tons of orange coming from outside and then ñu ko jaay below suma boss boobu dafa difficult pour ma jaay suma drinks yi and man damaa fay taxi damaa make sure that government dama employ government rules or commitments are met you know ñooñu tamit dañu war a dimbal ñun because if we fail to provide that the next thing is they will be there waiting for their checks you see and then dañoo make sure whether am nañ profit or amuñ profit dañoo make sure what is due ñu fay leen you see moom he can ascertain to that because no company would become a victim of not paying tax no
local juice bi xam nga suñ juice bi xam naa ne loolu moom Mr Dabo bëgg naa nga dox si bu baax gaawal ko xam naa ñun dinañ uti tool sax bay ay wënjo saa yoo leen commencé use suñ wënjo bi ak suñ buy bi
waaw loolu wënjo moom dëgg boobu
moom Amadou léegi ñu commencé bay suñ
wënjo is part of the portfolio boobu mu ngi fa ñu ngi ko test run set because dañ bëgg a génne something that people didn't like taste bi because Gambians yi suñ like taste bi jarul nga promote product boobu ici so si stage boobu lañ nekk and dinañ def daxaar dinañ def buy bi tam ici so that's a company soo gis président bi dem fa xam na le ñi am nañ ambition and then lu niñ koo wax you know moom gis na ko because for the first time nga am factory you have 3 lines you know nga am can line nga am bottle line nga am pet line mooy plastic line so and then pour def all kinds of juice you know from one point to another dañoo graduate you know right now ñu ngi am 7 products su can drinks ñëwee boobu dafa ànda ak local juices wonjo dahar buy you know and who knows mun na move to another one you know then tea all those things company
suñ jàmbakatang bi ak suñ barab mun na tea
moo tax ñu ngi wax ne these are
local
small SMEs they are making jàmbakatang
and loo gis fii leen ko def loo gis génne si factory bell bottling fii leen ko craft nekku ne idée bi dafa jóge from bitim réew fii lañ ko defal ñu produce ko génne ko si Gambian si so Gambian si bell bottling mu ngi ni yeneen companies ñu ngi ni kii mooy suñ président bi mu ngi taxaw every day mu gis ne companies yi manufacturing companies yi ñu ngi produce lu ñu war a produce lu ñu soxla because
loolu leen bëgg léegi
suñu joxee dara xam ne daal nit ñi soxlañ ko
non loolu leen bëgg lu Gambien bi moom suñu yëf
lu Gambien si soxla
ñu wàññi jéggaane bi tuuti wàññi jéggaane bi
si tànk boobu lay nekk
sonal trop jëli bi
waaw ma wax la loolu tey lu Gambien si soxla ñun si tànk boobu lay nekk
very good
waaw duñu musa dévier
da ngeen si am ndam nag da ngeen si am ndam inshallah parce que ku buggal Gambien ni dara di nga am ndam
inshallah
yàlla dina leen dimbale inshallah
suñu ubbi woon line si konoon dañ doon am positive feedback I think from the Gambian people but because of I know time bi and it's the first edition
and soon drinks dafa yomba because carton of 24 nga gis ne dox bu fa nekka 35 cl la moo jëna oppa bu can drink ci ñi ngi ko jaay fi right now 33 cl ak 35 cl ban moo oppa 35 cl la and ñu ngi ko jaay $500 si carton bi 24
am nga lu tax démb rek man dan naa boori
waaw so nga dem jël bu imported
drink benn bitig man ak maam ma ne ko ne am nga bel boo mu ne ma waaw beneen bitig mu ne ko ñoom bëri ñi ngay pousse de maam mu ne ko am nga énergie mu ne ko waaw mu ne ko suma gars yi ñi ngay pousse de waaye nañ jënd moom bu demee daf koy fay
waaw no problem kani man dina ko wax suma boss
sa boss yes on a final note Mr. President listening to Barry and all that you have said dafa mel ni as the president and you and your executive you have a lot on your desk to deal with so like I asked him if, for instance, you were asked to meet the president and ask what would you wish the government would do for you, the 5 maybe most needed thing for the association, for the manufacturers in this country, what would that be? And you talk about also, taxes. And for the government right now, tax, it seems, is a priority for them. Because the president said they are going to rely on the local, the taxes for national development. Now borrowing is too much, so they want to come back. So how do you intend to maneuver on that? And part of your plan, is it also that you plan at any time to meet the president as an association to discuss with him directly maybe for that, put these things before him on the table. Mr. President, this is what we want, and you discussed. I know he came just a pass by, but to meet him in person, maybe State House, is that part of your plan as well?
Yeah.
Maybe actually, 3 in 1 I have put it though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, at the AGM, Association of Gambian Manufacturers, is part of the National Business Council. We are one of the members there.
Okay.
So we have the opportunity to meet the president.
Okay.
And we highlighted all these issues that I just spoke about here. But again, the first thing, after the visit of the president on this industrial tour, we will like to thank him first because it shows a commitment. It shows a signal. So that alone, it has boosted, our morale and know that, for history, because he rightly asked, whether this is the first time. If it is not the first time, this one is really timely because, the industry need it very well. Senegal and the whole global economy are revamping. So the president to come out, and showcase, and have the, just like the Meet the People tour, meet the industrial players, meet the people, even the workers, Gambian workers, is a really a motivation to them. So we would like to thank him for that. But to come again, and highlight, most of the issues that really are affecting, the industry, we would like to tell him taxation. Yes, you can do resource mobilization to develop, your political agenda or the infrastructure of the country, which we need, because to move our goods to A, B, C, D, we need those roads. We need those, environment. But again, don't milk out, too much the cow, because, you might kill the cow. So this is what we want to tell the president. Let's, get, the right environment. Let them talk to us, because most of the time, again, the problem of the government is sometimes certain policies are done without a proper consultation with the players. So we would like to have that engagement. Where it's needed, to reduce this, we will need it. Where it's not necessary, we just need it. But taxation, we all need it. We all know that, tax must be paid. But for us to survive and to give that tax, we need to have that right environment and the right dose. Just like, the bottling. You need to have the right sugar to make sure that, it's consumable. So for us, the same thing. We need to have the right tax, the right measurement, in order to progress. In energy, right now, the president, has commissioned a new power plant in Jambur. Yes, it's a 23 megawatt, solar plant. That can be given, for example, to the manufacturing sector to bring the cost of, energy down, because this is also a huge chunk of cost, and also the electricity is not that stable. So when electricity goes off, we have to rely on generator, and we all know that how the fuel cost is costly. So, and also you have to do maintenance and so on. So this is another area that we will address with him, and we have a positive feedback that he might do something again. And the last point, I would like after this tour the president to come out and say, I have visited the industries. This is line of action I have taken, or this is the gift before Tobaski I'm giving it to the industry. That will really boost up our sector, because that sector is the most important sector in the whole economy, because that will increase and also will added value to other sectors. For example, today the little farmer that is producing wonjo, or you saying that your auntie, your grandma might go and do in a farm of wonjo, he will now have a factory where he can sell that product, and so many other things that will come. Recently I attended a EU recycling program, whereby they are telling we the industrial to make sure that we recycle, or we make sure that we recycle our waste. Absolutely. So today, if I'm producing waste of plastic, I can send it to him, and he can now transform it to bottle, and then reuse it again. So many things like that. What industries do, what manufacturers do, it have a lot of impact in the economy. So this is the thing that we'll be telling the president, and we believe that before we reach to him, he will already give us a present. So these are the things. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I know we should have. You want to say something? Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Saho. And also, what I would like to put to the Gambian people, here we have a full-fledged manufacturers association led him, and his team is people of integrity with excellent character. Okay. And all our ambition is to provide quality and affordable products for the Gambian people, being it water or being it beverage. That's our aim, and we are aspiring to make sure that all those are attained. So my advice to the Gambian people would be, as he said before, if I have an issue with Bell Bottling Company, if you cannot come to us directly, you have an issue you want us to address, or you realize something and you feel that it's not okay with you, approach us. We have our various sectors that can handle it. Or yet still, you head to the Manufacturers Association, and then you lodge your complaint. I think that would be a fertile ground where your queries, your complaints could be addressed. Because remember, a bad publicity on a company is a bad publicity on the government and in the Gambia. Because if you start saying this, that, and that, remember those things are produced in the Gambia. So what image are you giving to the outside people? Are you encouraging investors, or are you discouraging investors? I think before we start narrating stories on different platforms, we need to see what negative impact would that make, because you are not destroying. You are not. Exactly. You are not.
Something that is detrimental to their
no company wish to produce any substance that is going to harm the Gambian people. That is not the aim of any company. That's not the aim of Bell. That's not the aim of Julaforo or whatever company, whether it's Best Water or is Jar Water or whatever. Every company you see in the Gambia wants to produce standard quality products and feed the Gambian people with it, but not substances that would harm the health of the Gambian people. So it will be good that we are engaged, or the Manufacturers Association are engaged, because any bad publicity is a bad publicity for the Gambia, not about that company, because that company is in the country. So you are portraying the Gambia to the outside world as a country that is not serious with whatever they are doing. So we need to understand that very well. We need to know how to handle such kind of things. You see, no one is infallible, everybody makes mistakes, but when mistakes are made, address them in a very positive way that would at least encourage everyone to up whatever they are doing, rather than trying to bring each other down. Is of no use, because if you bring me down tomorrow, another one will come down, another one will come down. So at the end of the day, what happens? There'll be zero, and no one will be interested to come to the Gambia. And today, the mirror on the Gambia is such that, a lot of people want to come in. A lot of people want to come and invest in the country. So we who are right now providing the beverages, the water, are encouraging others to come so that, we can all contribute and quota, and it become very competitive, and then our products would stand out as one in the global world, especially within our sub-region, because we have the best water in the sub-region.
Thank you.
You see, so whatever I do, obviously we are putting all our energy, all our best to make sure that we provide excellent products.
Thank you.
That's what we stand for. So I encourage everyone for us to be, interactive rather than just going after each other unnecessarily.
Right. Thank you so very much, Mr. Dabo. And with those wise words, we of course have to end the program now. And we want to thank you so much for coming. Like I said at the beginning, Africa we also doors are open, and of course I hope this will be the beginning of many discussions with the Manufacturer Association and many others out there as well. Thank you once again for coming, and like viewers, we appreciate your company as well. And of course, like I said, our guests were Mr. Bori Dabo, of course, who is the head of marketing at Bell Bottling Company. Of course, he is here with the president of Gambia, or should I say Association of Gambian Manufacturers, Honorable, or Sir Fariman Saho is the president. So you heard what he said. They have a lot of things to deal with.